Red and your ears tortured. It's From the Front Row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
No. Did you see that though? The way he just jumped across the ring and just wow. I mean, they really smashed that dude. No, Flip, I'm serious. There's no way in the world anybody should ever take a hit like that. I mean, it's crazy. What's up, folks? It's me, Johnathan T. Rokford, here with another edition of From the Front Row. And yesterday, folks, we began the road to WrestleMania as the Royal Rumble took place. And we had our winners announced who would contend for the World Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. But before we get to that, game changer action as Jermaine Walker took on the Master Sean Puff and defeated him, which really is not a surprise. Surprising how long it took him to defeat him, but not surprising that he beat the Master Sean Puff. In his second match, he picked Money MF and Mike. I guess he just wanted to prove that the Goons can't beat him, whether it's a sanctioned title or unsanctioned title. I mean, it looked like Money Mike disappeared about the end of that match. And his third opponent, folks, to round out the Royal Rumble week was Draven the Sledgehammer. And they've had classic battles before, folks, and this was the exception because in the end, the inevitable happened as Jermaine Walker retained the game-changing title. Now, who he picks next, well, only he knows, folks. And honestly, I don't think there's any amount of prodding or needling you could do that can make him select you. No, really, I'm dead serious. I mean, you could probably call him a bitch and he'd still probably just ignore you. What? Why would I? No. Whatever. Shut up. Once sanctioned matches began, it was Quanny Fist, the man nobody wants to get pinned by or lose to, defeating Donnie Boy in our opening match. That was a good win for him. Yeah. I mean, the guy really needed a win. He's been sucking lately. I tell you, it might be the name. What? Think he'll change it? Nah. It's not going to make a difference. I've said it before, Flip. You can change your name 100 times. If you suck, you suck on that day. Eventually, you'll get a win. Now, match 2 and match 3 didn't happen as the opponents didn't show up. So, Shepard Bain and Casper 2779 were awarded the wins and also awarded by sitting on the commentary table. Did a pretty good job, too. Very insightful and colorful commentary down there. And I was actually a little bit surprised. Now, match 4 saw the Idol Steve Sampson taking on none other than Johnny Rocco in their first ever meeting. And Johnny Rocco showed him exactly who he was in a very close match, folks. That I won't say it was a match tonight, but it was in contention there, folks. It was pretty up there. But in the end, Johnny Rocco was able to hit the Charm City driver and defeat the Idol's Steve Sampson. Yeah, he, he was relieved. He really needed a win. He's been kind of sucking lately. Now, the sponsored athlete took on Johnathan and also picked up a win. I don't think he was too happy. I mean, there's time and place for everything, but when it comes down to it, folks, it's just you gotta pick and choose when to pick up a good win. And Johnathan is no slouch. I mean, he's a former world champ, folks. I mean, he beat Jermaine Walker for a world title. He's in that very select crew of individuals that beat Jermaine Walker for a title. Very select. I mean, that crowd is smaller than people that actually just beat Jermaine Walker. I think that was the loss that kind of like, I think it depressed him for a while. He went spiraling down. I mean, he's back to his normal self, but yeah, he was out of the top 10 for a minute with, I don't know. Now, Jalen Masters' tag team partner Big Mel was also in action as he took on one half of the It couple, the Blueprint Jackson Aries, and did what he normally does to the Standard. He beat the Blueprint. And people could say the match was close. It was, whether it was close or not, I mean, a win's a win. And he proved that the It couple just don't have it when it comes to Big Mel. I mean, geez. I don't think he wants to see the It couple anymore. Unless, by circumstance, number one contender matches, and they just happen to face each other. Other than that, I really don't think he wants to see them. I mean, it's getting to be a little ridiculous with those two. But everybody has their foil, you know? Like, for a while, remember when Jalen Masters kept beating Jermaine Walker, and he just couldn't overcome it, and then he finally picked up a win against Jalen Masters? Yeah, it was crazy. I think that drove him crazy for a bit. Couldn't figure out why he couldn't beat Jalen Masters. And that wasn't even when Jalen Masters was really as good as he is now. He was just kind of tough. Of course, Jay never beat him for a world title. So there's that. He can always put that feather in his cap. Those two will clash at some point in time, I guarantee it. Now, the Brasso took on, this is like 3 Killer Goon matches straight. Brasso took on the American Joker. And I mean, he dominated that match. After getting a win under his belt, you know, Joker, I thought the match would have been a little bit closer. And actually, I thought Joker was going to win that match, but it was not to be. He got dominated by the Brasso. You don't normally see Brasso dominate somebody. But, it happens every now and then. Now, in our next match, it was Needles Kane taking on Wolf Knight. Fairly new here in WPA, still trying to find his way, and he found his way to a victory as he defeated Needles Kane. Yeah, that was another lopsided victory there. He came out just beasting them. Rounding out our singles action, it was the Wraith versus the second half of the It couple, standard Starling J. What? I said Charlene? Charlene? Starling J. And folks, I'm glad we didn't bet on that one. She picked up a win. Finally. It's crazy. The blueprint loses, but the standard wins. It usually is the other way around. But hey, like I said, folks, you never know in this league when somebody's going to pick up a win on you. And with that, our pre-show of matches before the explosion started was over, folks. And we got into the meat of Royal Rumble week. Starting with number one contender matches. And we had a number one contender match for the Triple Threat Championship. And match one saw Lycan Umbras taking on Martel, the Carpenter, and Jason Shepard. And Lycan Umbras, with losses he's had recently, he did pick up the win by pinning Hakeo. Hakeo had a really good match against Luna and won. And now he's part of Bulletproof. Bulletproof, but not loss-proof. But hey, his first loss, he's 500. If he can pick up some more wins, he may look good in the rankings. If he gets on a little win streak, you never know. Match 2 saw Captain Mexico taking on Draven the Sledgehammer in a one-on-one match because the investor was nowhere to be found. That guy really needs to invest in showing up. He needs to invest in putting in some effort. But Draven, the Sledgehammer, pinned Captain Mexico and will move on. I know, crazy, right? Our next number one contender match was to determine who would be the number one contender for the television title, and it was the Big J Bowski. Once again, calling himself the Big J Bowski. Taking on the Super Champion King. And folks, that match, that was one of the matches of the night, folks. As that match went to a time limit draw. And we'll see both competitors, the Super Champion King and the Big J Bowski, both vying for the television championship this week. Sucks to be the television champ and have a triple threat match on you. We'll see if the Big J Bowski or the Super Champion King can unseat that title from the current champ. Should be an interesting match. Now, our next number one contender match was to determine who would go to face the IC champ, and it was David the Beast Smith taking on Fat Thomas. And the Beast hit that spear. It looked like he almost bounced off of him. So much bloop. Like the body absorbed the hit. And it recoiled and popped back out like a thing of blubber. But it was enough to knock Fat Thomas on his ass. And the Beast pinned him, and now he is the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, folks. Do I think he'll win? I mean, he's not going against Jermaine Walker, so yeah. He'll probably win flip. Now, our last number one contender match was a match that had been months in the workings, contrary to what conspiracy theorists think. as the Ronin Shona Campbell took on the First Lady, Alexa Leslie. And that match could have went either way, folks. Could have went either way. But in the end, Shona Campbell was able to pin the First Lady, Alexa Leslie, and become the new #1 contender for the world title. This will be her second time going for the world title, as her first match was a triple threat match. So this will be her first time going one-on-one with the world champ. I know. And there's going to be a lot of people rooting for her. I mean, she's done a lot. Her 2022 was a really good year for her, and she is still 1/3 of the trios champs. Started the year off with that win, defending that title. I'm telling you, it comes to a title, she takes pride in her titles, no matter which one it is. Defends it with class, and she's a fighter. Now, we got into our championship matches, and we kicked off a match that had some controversy, as there were call-outs, small print in writing, and then somebody listening to something we said here on the show, as our tag team champs were involved in the ladder match. And it was the agency, James Altrez of Texas Hate You versus Limited Edition, Luscious Lucius and Money versus Tezzeret and the Messiah. And folks, I say what you want, but Limited Edition, folks, are your new tag team champions. There was a scary spot in the match when James Altrez took a nasty bump and had to be attended to by trainers. They're saying he'll be out for a while, going through concussion protocol. I'm pretty sure when he comes back, he will not be all that happy. Now, our next championship match was for the Triple Threat Championship, and it was Cats and Corey taking on Polish Power and Money, MF and Mike. And Cats and Corey, Money Mike probably, if I was him, I'd be pissed at Polish Power because the guy didn't even show up. And yeah, Cats and Corey only had to worry about one guy, and he obliterated Money, MF and Mike. I think Money Mike's the only one in the Killer Goons that didn't pick up a win this week. I know, it's crazy, right? I don't know. Have we seen a week where there has been? I recall, it's been a while, but there's been a week when all the Killer Goons have won a match, all at the same week. It happens. It's ups and downs. Now, in our television championship match, it was the Street Fight King taking on South Bronx Savage, and finally, this guy comes through and defeats the Street Fight King. And them two had a battle a while back for the Game Changer Championship that lasted. And I think during that match, South Bronx Savage learned a little bit about the Street Fight King, enough to pick up this win. But it was a close match. It was one wrong move, and Street Fight King keeps his title. But South Bronx Savage will not get any rest, folks. Like I said, triple threat match for his television title. Good luck to him. Hopefully he shows up and shows out and defends that title. Now, our Intercontinental Championship featured Mac Blakely taking on the badass Eddie Vendetti. And Mac Blakely, who we are rooting for to keep his hands on that title, defeated the badass Eddie Vendetti. And I swear, the badass has got to be just beside himself. He cannot get his hands on that title. it's about to become an obsession. I mean, we've seen him in multiple matches for this damn title. After that one controversial loss he got. We'll see, folks. I mean, at some point in time, it's going to become almost like a Johnny Rocco thing. Remember, the guy like what 2 years almost to get his hands on that title. One good defense and then lost it to Mac Blakely of all people. Hey, but hey, we're rooting for you, Mac. Good job. Now, our WPA Women's International Champion Luna was in action versus the Queen of WPA, Siren. And I don't know, folks. Could 2023 be the year of the Siren? As far as titles go, I mean, I don't know. She picked up the win and is now your new women's international champion. Thanks. Wait. Yeah, I'm done. So congratulations to the Queen. I mean, she gets Queen of WPA. Now she's the women's international champion. What's next? We'll see. I'm pretty sure they're looking for a good opponent for her. I mean, but she has one lost, right? Yeah, it was her second time going for the championship, and she got it on the second try. So we'll see who can unseat her and see if she has a good run with that international championship. Now, our United States champion, the Darkstalker, was in action versus the Forgotten One, Matty Ice. And folks, the Darkstalker has been unseated. I don't know who put this match together, but they must have knew what they were doing. Because the Forgotten One, Matty Ice, defeated the Darkstalker and is now your new United States champion. And who his first opponent is, anybody's guess. As it will be selected for him. Because we got another week coming up, folks. It's like a marathon of megas. Mega marathon. It's like binge watching shows on Netflix. Or Peacock. Or Paramount. Or Hulu. Whatever your streaming service is, I don't know. And our next championship match, we had the world title on the line. And Jermaine Walker came away with a narrow victory. But nevertheless, a victory. Defeating Red Death. Yeah, hit that black hand side and that was it. And speaking of it, folks, it was time to rumble. And we had our Royal Rumble winners as elimination after elimination. We had so many people in it. We had to do 2 Rumble matches. Now, in the first Rumble match, Draven won it when he eliminated the Investor. It's amazing. The Investor showed up for the Rumble match and then got eliminated. But couldn't show up for his #1 contender match. That's crazy. I guess priorities, I guess. Now, Red Death wound up eliminating Tezzeret in the second Rumble match. And then came the decision, folks. Whose performance was better? We had Draven, and we had the Red Death. And it was determined that Draven will fight for the IC title at WrestleMania, while Red Death gets another world title shot at WrestleMania. That had to be a good feather in the cap for Red Death. And with that, folks, it was over. Another week, another set of losers, another week of new champions. Speaking of champions, folks, we're watching a lot of football today. Another sporting events. We ain't got jack else to do the rest of the day. Stay tuned for Philip as he will be delivering his pick of the week for the Royal Rumble. I'm Johnathan T. Rokford. Peace out. What? No. Look. I don't know. Didn't we tape this last night? It seems like I feel like we taped this already. What do you mean it got erased? What do you mean? Happy Sunday, WPA. Once again, it is I, Philip Alexander Carrington IV, and you are honored once again to hear my voice as I give you my pick for the Royal Rumble week. Now, I had two choices. I could easily have picked one, but this one I picked. Well, it is a combination of hard work, true grit, and having that warrior spirit. I speak, of course, of the Ronin, Shona Campbell. The Shonen. It's a very good, quaint quip. But the Ronin qualified for a world title match against a very formidable opponent in the First Lady, Alexa Leslie. Both competitors earned their way into this match as the arsehole booker saw fit to have them compete for the right to face Jermaine Walker, which is no easy task. Shona has shown over time, over the last year, that she is a tough competitor, a top 10 pick, even if she's not in the top 10. She's always a threat to anyone that steps in the ring with her. There's not too much more I can say. She earns her way. And sure, at times she may stumble, but she picks herself up, dusts off the loss, and steps right back into that ring and delivers. Now, coming off a loss, one would say there was no way she would have regrouped in time to defeat the First Lady, but she did. And she did it in a very convincing fashion. I challenge Shona to use that same energy when WrestleMania comes upon us. And in between now and then, take every challenge that you get and make it count. But that is all I have. Ronan, I tip my hat to you. I look forward to seeing what you do between now and WrestleMania. To everyone else in WPA, I wish you a good day. I said, good day.